This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
The award in the category of Young Turk of the Year is instituted in the memory of Professor Kamala Chaudhary, the first woman professor of management education in India. It goes to Ms. Pragya Singh, Associate Director HR, PepsiCo Global Business Services India.
Ms. Pragya Singh has been instrumental in fostering a culture of inclusion by enhancing the employee resource groups and by building awareness. ERGs have driven a strong sense of community and helped the organization achieve a retention rate of 87% in the year of Great Resignation versus the industry at 75%. Both men and women have similar organizational health scores of 78%, with inclusion index being at 80%. Survey on equal opportunity for people with diverse backgrounds has drawn a 76% favorable response. These results, significantly better than the industry benchmarks, have directly and indirectly contributed to business growth and stabilizing of operations.
Hearty congratulations, Ms. Singh. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here. It's a great pleasure to get this award from Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia. Pretty much the reason why I came down here to take the award. So thank you so much for that. The reason for getting this award is even more special. The fact that I got to work on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a cause which is very, very close to my heart. And when I joined PepsiCo, I thought that this is an FMCG organization and probably will not be investing as much in diversity and inclusion because FMCG organizations are primarily sales and driven by the market conditions. But I was so pleasantly surprised with PepsiCo's visionary goal of having 50% diversity in management roles by the year 2025. And when the HR head of PepsiCo, Avantika Nigam, she gave me the responsibility to lead this agenda. I had actually never ever led diversity, equity, and inclusion before, but this was a very exciting experience, and we've been market leaders in driving this. We are at 45% diversity, while most of our competitors would be nowhere close. I think 30% is the best that they can get in this era. And all of this happened in last 2 years, which were COVID years. And we had started a setup in Hyderabad. We started with 0 to 2,500 people when we were struck with COVID. So this was an exciting time, and thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Singh. Our next category of award is Talent Acquisition and Retention in the memory of Professor Suresh C. Kuchal, who has always referred to as Kuchal Sahab affectionately by his students. And the award goes to Mr. Girish Menon, Head HR Swiggy.
Mr. Girish Menon pioneered several HR processes in India and MNC startups, managing stakeholders in matrix organizations. Mr. Menon anchored several strategic initiatives, driving key people practices, talent management strategies, and ODA interventions across multiple locations and across sections of employees. These initiatives have given the organization an opportunity to think harder about what really matters, as opposed to what was considered important. These measures have also ensured that employees will work all 5 days of the week from their base location. This translates into the employees working out of 487 cities in 27 states and 4 UTs across the country.
Thank you so much. Such an honor to receive the award from you, sir. This award I dedicated to my team. I did very less to achieve this. My team really worked hard. More importantly, I'm happy that we really changed the way India eats. Now I guess people who joke when I meet a lot of folks that I'm saving a lot of marriages because food is getting delivered on time. So you should thank a few lakh delivery partners out there. And happy that we are able to provide employment to so many people and really make a positive impact to economy in a small way. So thank you so much for acknowledging us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menon. We now move on to the next category, which is Disruptive of the Year, instituted in the memory of Professor Pulin Garg. A very apt matching of the category and the faculty. This award goes to Ms. Priyanka Kapoor, HR Leader, ZS Associates, India.
Ms. Priyanka Kapoor has been instrumental in setting up the learning platform for an organization with a headcount of 14,000 employees. It has been named Ikigai of Coaching at ZS. Ms. Priyanka's first step was to define the now, near, far of coaching and re-establish the core purpose for which the coaching team existed. The Ikigai of Coaching at ZS showcased a need to move from what they are good at, coaching junior levels, towards what does ZS need. Coaching to be a strategic partner, support talent integration, performance and retention, and predict people trend.
Thank you, everyone. Extremely stoked to be here today amongst all you guys, and it's an immense pleasure and honor to be sharing the stage with you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Scindia, for taking out the time and being there for us today. The talent landscape in India, I feel, is changing, immensely. And we, within organizations, I think the talent leaders have to think very, very differently. For me, being the disruptor or, enabling disruptive thinking in HR simply also means that you need to have the courage to execute on your idea. And the right kind of ecosystem, I think, for a woman leader like me, both back home as well as within the organization, to really translate that. So I'm very, very thankful to the jury, to the folks here, very, very thankful to my folks back home, my parents, my supportive partner, the mature 6-year-old at my home, my 6-year-old son, Kabir, and a wonderful, wonderful organization and team that really supports looking at talent very, very differently in India today. Thank you so very much. Immensely honored once again to be receiving this today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Kapoor. We now move to the category of Corporate Social Responsibility, instituted in the memory of Professor Ishwar Dayal, who is still remembered for his pipe and tobacco. The award goes to Ms. Aradhana Lal, Senior Vice President, Sustainability and ESG, and Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Senior Vice President, HR, Lemon Tree Hotels. How nice that there are 2 joint winners in this category.
Under the stewardship of Ms. Aradhana Lal and Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Messrs Lemon Tree Hotel began its journey of hiring employees with special needs in 2007. Over the years, it has hired individuals with specific needs and collaboratively created an accessible and growth-oriented work environment for them. This includes individuals with physical disabilities, speech-hearing impairment, orthopedically handicapped, acid survivors, low vision and intellectual and development disability, Down syndrome, slow learner, mild MR, IDD and autism.
Very nice to be here. I am ex-alumni of IMA, as you know, Anilji. So it's a proud moment to be part of this fraternity as well today. And thank you all for being here, and thank you, Jyotiraditya. The work that Rajesh and I do at Lemon Tree Hotels is all around inclusion of people who normally don't get an opportunity to get a job. These are people who have disability, or they could be people from economically and socially marginalized backgrounds, people whose education is incomplete, people who never got a chance, really. And our company, by the way, completed 20 years just a few days ago, September. And this inclusion work has been going on for 15, so it's very much part of our culture. And I invite any one of you, and all of you in fact, to take a look at how people who are deaf, people who are autistic, people who have Down syndrome, acid survivors, dwarfs, abandoned children and orphans, all different sort of backgrounds are working in our teams in front office, food and beverage, housekeeping, engineering. So it's really well integrated. And we are happy to share how we got here with anybody, any organization who would like to know. Rajesh, something?
I'll just say thank you so much for recognizing our efforts. My colleague Aradhana have already spoken about this. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well done and congratulations, Ms. Lal and Mr. Kumar. Our next award is in the category Employee Engagement in the memory of Professor Vasant L. Mote, who is always remembered for his passion for motorbikes. And the winner is Mr. Yuvraj Srivastav, CHRO, Make My Trip.
With a background of 5 years in the armed forces, Mr. Yuvraj Srivastava has initiated several measures for employee engagement in his HR efforts, namely holiday experts, certified travel agents, Back to Future program, employee resource groups to name some. Mr. Srivastava has been instrumental in establishing a strong feedback and communication culture to identify, build, manage and provide the necessary impetus for professional growth. Mr. Srivastava believes that post-pandemic, newer hybrid work models will come into play with some degree of support for work-from-home employees. This will greatly contribute to the reduction of uncertainty and lack of trust around work-from-home issues.
Good morning, everyone. And I think we were not prepared that we need to make a speech here, so we are not very much geared up for this. Thank you so much, Mr. Sandhya. I think that family, you, your father, I think we have seen both of you right from our childhood, and getting an award from you is an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. My founder Deep and Rajesh have also conveyed their thanks to you and regards. So on behalf of Make My Trip, I think that we are a 20 years old organization which has been, now it's called as a evolved startup. Has always championed employee engagement right since beginning, and I think that what we realized that if the founders and owners of the company are closer to employees, I think it goes great and it goes deeply in terms of creating a culture in the organization wherein people can be engaged. Last 2-3 years have been very, very serious for us, and you being a part of the similar fraternity and industry, you understand how travel had been affected. But all this during these 3 years, the way we have been really close to the employees, the way we have taken care of, we have not let the travel get impacted with our passion and with the technology, has all been only because of the Make My Trip employees and the workforce. Congratulations to the team back home for winning this award on behalf of FOSTIIMA. Thanks to FOSTIIMA, Mr. Somani, for really conceptualizing this great award. And I must say that, you know, when you talk about your teachers, and I think that shows the type of value and ethics the organization is going to have, and the institution is going to have. All the students from FOSTIIMA, you guys, bless you all, have a great career, and we from the corporate fraternity are always there to help you and see that you guys do well in your career. The best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Hearty congratulations, Mr. Srivastav. We now move to the category of diversity and inclusion. This category is in the memory of Professor S.K. Bhattacharya, whom everybody remembers for his towering height and a booming voice. The winner is Ms. Swati Rustagi, Director HR, Amazon.
Ms. Swati Rustagi has been credited for leading Amazon's vision around a thriving, diverse workforce and an inclusive marketplace and workplace outside of North America. Ms. Rustagi was instrumental in introducing Virtual Customer Service 2017 to address customer requests remotely long before working from home was the new normal, and in an extension of Amazon's customer service network. This site will enable Amazon India to reach out to wider talent pool of women who prefer to work from home, as it seeks to bring greater diversity across its teams. This could include women who are resuming careers after a break, or women who require flexibility in their work schedule to attend to personal commitments during the day.
Thank you. An honor to receive the award from you, Shrimant Jyotiraditya Scindia. Thank you so much. I think this award is special because it stands for teachers. And to receive something, I think it's always a pleasure, at least as I was studying and growing up, to have a teacher say you've done a good job. That's what we grow up with, and it matters. So I think when I look at all those professors and I see them, and I'm hoping that somewhere today they're blessing us, and teaching us and being happy about what we've been able to do. So thank you for that. Our work here, and I want to say whatever we are achieving here, and many of us, I've learned from many on the front bench here. I've learned a lot from people who are on the stage here. So thank you for that. Thank you for teaching us. For us at Amazon, there have been two things that we've been focused on. And in my role, which is supporting all markets outside of North America, I think it's about keeping the flag of our country high as India, and to be able to lead that effort outside of the US and to stand tall and say we can teach the world has been very big for us. And we are very happy that we've been able to do it in a small way. It's a long, long journey. There's so much to be done. And our focus now is how are we going to do inclusive growth, which is about communities around us. And if we can even make a small difference, and we are learning from you, Aradhana, as well, if we can make a small difference in that, I think that would be a big achievement. Thank you so much.
Hearty congratulations, Ms. Rustagi. We now move ahead to the category of Excellence in Transformational Leadership, instituted in the memory of Professor Samuel Paul, a gentle soul and an intellectual giant. And the winner is Ms. Manu Wadhwa, CHRO, Sony Pictures Networks India.
With a diverse career spanning across multiple industries and geographies, Ms. Manu Wadhwa has steered the workplace and people agenda of globally dynamic organizations like Sony Picture Networks, Coca-Cola, American Express, GE across the spectrum of roles involving culture, leadership, and talent, HR transformation, change, and digital innovation. Ms. Wadhwa has pioneered Alternate Work Agreement, which is a robust operational plan for in-office and remote working, ensuring business continuity.
Congratulations, Ms. Wadhwa.
I have a few words to say because it's an overwhelming feeling to be a part of this stage, which is filled with stars and accredited leaders themselves. So a big thank you first to FOSTIIMA, and then to Mr. Scindia for taking out your valuable time to be with us. When I think about transformational leadership, it's about your ability to change the game. And as I heard our Prime Minister talking about changing the game for India to become a global leader in thought and action, this award for me also stands for our ability in individual capacity or for our corporations to be able to do that and contribute to Prime Minister's agenda. So I thank you for really bestowing this honor. And at the same time, at Sony Pictures Networks, our endeavor is that everything that we do in terms of showcasing the content, it changes the social thread of the country and fosters it to become even more transformational. So I really, really wish to hope that there are many transformational leaders that come out of this room and continue to foster this growth, whether in corporate or in public policy or in anything that you do in life. So a big thank you once again and wish all the best.
Thank you, Ms. Wadhwa. And now, rising above functional leadership, we move on to the category of Director of the Year, instituted in the memory of Professor Dwijendra Tripathi, the first Dean of IIMA. And the award goes to Ms. Anuradha Razdan, Executive Director, HUL, and CHRO, Unilever South Asia, Unilever Limited.
Ms. Aradhana Razdan is a strong believer in working closely with business leaders to drive an audacious change and transformation agenda, which integrates effectively with strategic vision to deliver pragmatic HR solutions. As a response to COVID, Ms. Razdan was instrumental in devising an ecosystem for 350,000 employees, families, and extended ecosystem, covering distributors, sales representatives, 3P employees, Shakti Ammas, to name some. Ms. Razdan also initiated FLEX, and AI-based existing internal digital marketing along with communications, learning and well-being to keep people positive and poised for growth through a #HUL Stands Together campaign.
Good morning, and thank you very much. It's a real privilege to be receiving the award from the Honorable Minister and from the distinguished members on the stage today. First of all, thank you to the FOSTIIMA Institute for instituting these awards and for recognizing functional excellence. And compliments on the many things you do, but particularly for driving the societal change that you are doing so perseveringly and which is so aligned to the values of my organization, HUL, that what's good for India is good for HUL. I'm receiving this award, but really there are many people who stand behind me in getting this recognition. My organization, HUL, my bosses and mentors, who've nurtured my potential, my family, who've truly been the wind beneath my wings, and of course my team who makes me shine every day. So thank you very much. A final word to on Dr. Tripathi, in whose legacy this award has been named. And he was known as the father of business history in India. And so you will inspire us to keep following in your footsteps. Thank you very much.
Hearty congratulations, Ms. Razdan. The much coveted Lifetime Achievement Award in the memory of Professor Ravi J. Mathai, the first full-time director of IIMA. The award goes to Mr. Vivek Patwardhan, Director, High-Tech Engineers Private Limited.
Mr. Vivek Patwardhan has made an immeasurable contribution in the HR field to cause of continuous learning and growth by creating a work culture of coaching and development where people could explore their ideas and experiment with new initiatives. An active blogger, Mr. Patwardhan writes on HR and IR issues which are very popular and widely read. Mr. Patwardhan will always be remembered for establishing the Thane HR group, which won wide acclaim at all the levels for organizing innovative programs without charging a single rupee to the participants.
Our very best congratulations, Mr. Patwardhan.
Thank you very much. Many thanks to you, Mr. Scindia, people on the dais, and also to FOSTIIMA for giving me this award. Early in my career, I realized that the purpose of work is to make a better society. And my work proceeded on those lines, and therefore it does not stop even after retirement, which happened 13 years ago. I'm part of an NGO, and that work continues. And I seek blessings of everybody here to help me continue that work. I would also like to acknowledge the contribution made by my colleagues, my parents, my children, my wife, and my teachers, professors, in making me what I am today. Thanks once again to FOSTIIMA, and thanks you again, Mr. Scindia.
Thank you, Mr. Patwardhan. And with this, we come to the crowning glory of Margdarshak Awards, the Hall of Fame. Instituted in the memory of Dr. Vikram A. Sarabhai, an institution amongst institution builders. The award goes to Mr. P. Dwarkanath, former HR Director, GSK Consumer Healthcare South Asia.
A stalwart amongst the HR fraternity, Mr. P. Dwarkanath has devoted his entire career to making HR an active business partner in decision-making and ensuring that HR practices serve the interest of all its stakeholders. Mr. Dwarkanath was at the forefront of HR initiatives during COVID, when several myths and assumptions gave way to digital transformations and innumerable other innovations. These initiatives have enabled the corporates to take a quantum leap from capability and outcomes to empowerment and flexibility.
Hearty congratulations, Mr. Dwarkanath.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I feel very humbled and honored and privileged to receive this award. I wish to thank Mr. Anil Somani and his team and FOSTIIMA for instituting these awards. And this is the second year they're doing it. But I think what I want to highlight here is that these awards are for the HR fraternity. I have spent more than 50 years in the corporate world. I do not represent one company here. I represent 3 companies. I owe to my existence what I am today to DCM, the sort of senior management training scheme. I have gone through it and spent with them 9 years. We made me a corporate citizen. And 41 years association with GlaxoSmithKline, various capacities. I have not changed my name, I have not changed my profession, though I worked in different functions, but I continue to show passion for HR. And ultimately, but my company's name has changed 4 times. I think that is the beauty in HR. You never know what happens. My appointment letter was given in one company. By the time the name of the company has changed, so I've gone through many changes, and now I get my retirement benefits from Hindustan Levers. So I think that is the breadth. I think I want to give one appeal to all the students. You can opt for any career, but I think one thing is important, which has been demonstrated by the government in last 8 years and reinforced. People makes the difference. I think it's important. You need to have young talent, give them opportunities. I don't know, when I say Hall of Fame, I cannot say only unless Ms. Somani says time for you to say goodbye. I just want to continue. It is not lifetime achievement, Vivek, but it's a Hall of Fame. I really owe to this, and I have to say, I have to thank, apart from the jury, my parents, my family, and the Dr. Charatram, Mr. Analjit Singh, or Sir Simon Scarf, and many others whom I can't say, my teachers, who made me what I am today. I really owe to it, and this 52 years, I had a great career, and any offer, any help I can do for anyone, be it a mentoring, on a very voluntary basis, I'm always happy to stay in touch with them. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. It's a privilege to receive from you.
Thank you, Mr. Dwarkanath. May I now request the Honorable Minister to address the gathering. And with your permission, sir, if you have the time, our students may like to ask you some questions afterwards.
Seated on the dais with me, a friend of the family, a person who in his own very soft-mannered way has changed many people's lives. Anil Somani Sahib, seated on the dais, a person with whom I have interacted very deeply over the last year and a half, and his depth, his capability of understanding soft issues is truly immense. Shri Rajiv Dubey ji, seated on the dais with me, Yashish Dahiya Sahab, Ajay Garg ji, all our wonderful awardees today. And like Yashish said, I was not pleasantly surprised, but I was very motivated myself when I heard the stories from Pragya, Priyanka, Aradhana ji, Rajesh, Yuvraj, Srivastav ji, Swati ji, Manu ji, Anuradha ji, Vivek Patwardhan ji, Dwarkanath ji. And along with them, members of the FOSTIIMA family in this auditorium, and my young friends. It truly is an honor and a pleasure to be amongst all of you today. FOSTIIMA is an institution that I have seen candidly from a fair distance, but today is an institution that I have experienced along with many of you. And I must commend Somani ji for the journey that he has traversed. From picking up the gauntlet and taking up that challenge to set up an institution that will produce leaders of tomorrow. And let me be very candid, Somani ji, until Yashish actually explained, I didn't understand quite frankly what FOSTIIMA stood for. And he explained to me today that it's Friends of the IIM Ahmedabad. And that's how FOSTIIMA has come to be. I always thought in my mind in the last 10 years when you talked to me about FOSTIIMA as to why you coined that name. And today it's become apparent to me. And therein also lies a tremendous story. A story of bonds, a story of friendship, a story of kinship. And it will not be wrong for me to say a story of family. And never before have I seen such a coupling between an age-old, renowned institution and the spawning of a new institution. And this continual reinvigoration between the seminal institution, which is IIM Ahmedabad, and the spawned institution, which is FOSTIIMA, brings alive time and time again new thinking, new paradigms, and new approaches. It's a model that I have never seen in any other part of the world. And that's why I was in deep engagement with Yashish, trying to actually understand how this works. Because when you say the class of 73 has come in or a class of 96 has come in, what does that actually mean? And the very fact that every decade, every 15 years, a new linkage is being formed. That itself tells you the story of an institution that is supposed to teach you its MBA program, but at its core essence lies its capability in human resource building. So I'd like to commend you today, Somani ji, in terms of an amazing enterprise that you've created. And while I talk about that, I'd also like to congratulate you, the jury, for the event that you have created today. In life, we don't always pay that much attention to the more important blocks of what constitutes success. We look at an individual, we look at an institution, and that for us embodies success. But what are the levers that have allowed that success to play its path? And for example, today, when a lot of our awardees came on the stage, there were conversations, there were snippets about people that have impacted their lives, people that have made them who they are today. Not only in terms of the success that they have achieved, but also in terms of the values and morals that they enshrine today. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, success as a corporate, success as an institution, success as an individual is not about square boxes, but it is more about round circles. It is the people that impact you that make you what you are today. And therefore, even within institutions, within corporates, within individuals, we tend to pay a lot of attention on EBITDA margins, return on equity, your WACC, weighted average cost of capital, your NPV value, what discount rate are you using, what's your terminal value. But all of that aside, that is the bone structure and the skeletal of a human being. But the Atma is always human resource. The soul is always human resource. And that applies across the world, in any walk of life that you may belong to. Whether you're an academician, whether you're a medical doctor, whether you're an engineer, whether you're an NGO, a social service-oriented person, always remember this, that you're only as strong as the weakest link in your team. So build people. Work on people's strengths. Balance weaknesses with strengths. Encourage people. And the work that one of our awardees have done with our differently abled people, hats off to you. You really struck an emotional chord within me. If we want to make India into a Vishwaguru, if we want to convert Bharat into a Vishwaguru, that will only be possible when 140 crore Indians become a part of that enterprise. And I was not pleasantly surprised, let me tell you, when I saw this list of awardees. पुरुष अल्पसंख्यक हो गए हैं और महिलाएं बहुसंख्यक हो गई हैं। For minority human beings, and that is the way it should be. Because if you want India to change, if you want India to transform, it cannot be done by 50% of the population alone. And I would like to see, Somani ji, कि हम पुरुष लोगों को आप इस मंच पे भी अल्पसंख्यक बनाइए। वर्तमान में यहाँ कोई विविधता नहीं है, कोई डिवर्सिटी नहीं है। हमको आप ऑडियंस में बैठाइए और जिन लोगों को हमने पुरस्कृत किया है उनको आप मंच पे बैठाइए। That is our story, ladies and gentlemen. India's time has come. There's no power in the world that can deny our place in the Committee of Nations. But we have to make that happen. And the only way that we can make that happen is if we empower lives. We change the way we function. And that's where HR comes in. So मेरा कहने का तात्पर्य ये है that the essence is not about spreadsheets or numbers. The essence is about the core, which is about yourself. And that is what human resource represents. What our awardees have done is that they have contributed to where their organizations are today. Because the most important thing is to keep your family happy. If your family is a happy family, if your family is an inspired family, if your family is an aspirational family, those bottom line results will come because people are motivated. And so I'd like to give a hearty round of applause to our awardees today. That's not loud enough for me. That still is not loud enough for me. Because what they have done is they have not built their institutions. These are the ladies and gentlemen that are going to go on and build India for us. Thank you very much for having me.